What's going on, guys? So I'm doing this video for all of my friends and family and basically anyone else that wants to learn how to not only carve their own tenderloin, but to cut their own filet mignon out of the tenderloin. So this is what it looks like. This is what we're going to be working with today. I just ordered a tenderloin from Walmart. So it's choice. We'll see what we can do with that. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get started. What we're going to need to get started today, you definitely need a really sharp knife, guys. I'm using a boning knife for this, but you can use a fillet knife as well, really up to you. Anything that you can get that's sharp, that can slide in between the fat and the meat will work wonders. So, first thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and get the package opened. We'll drain out some of this blood, and after that, we'll go ahead and get started getting it cleaned up. Here we go. All right, let's get this baby opened up. So, yeah, first things first, mainly what you want to do is you want to go ahead and get this meat pat down. It needs to be dry, in my opinion, just because, if you leave the blood or any of the juices on it, it makes it really difficult for you to get, nice even cuts. The meat will be slipping through your hands. You don't want to have an accident and actually cut yourself. So, definitely, let's go ahead and get it pat dry. That's what we're going to do first. Here's the other thing too. If you're wondering why anyone would buy an entire beef tenderloin rather than just going to the meat section of your grocery store and buying pre-packaged filet mignon, it's because, it's going to be cheaper. I mean, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. You'll end up with 6 ounce or smaller fillets in a 2-pack that end up costing you $30, $35, while this, as you can see here, $81 for the whole thing. And then we'll be able to cut this into sections and end up with anywhere between 6 to 9 different fillets. Not even including steak ends. We'll have steak tips. We'll be able to use the scraps to make a roux or beef stock. So financially, it really makes sense, and especially for those of you who have larger families or you just want enough meat to be able to prepare ahead of time, this is definitely the way to go. And it's not scary. It's not scary at the end of the day. What this boils down to is really just diving on in. You gotta try it. You gotta try it. I just really got tired of paying a whole bunch of extra money for steak that really wasn't up to the quality that I or my family expect. So this was definitely the answer for me. And I know we're working on Walmart Choice, guys. I'm going to save it for another video. We'll go through the difference between Choice and Prime and, Wagyu and some of the other really top-end brands of steak. We'll talk about what the differences are, and if you're really actually getting your bang for your buck there. There is a difference. There's a difference in cleaning. There's a difference in quality. There's a difference in taste. A difference in tenderness. Marbling, of course. So we'll definitely go through all that. But that's, more to come. More to come in future videos. So we're going to go ahead and keep patting this down. We're going to get it pat down nice and dry. And then after that, we'll get started cutting this up. You don't have to rush. Your first couple times, take it easy. You want to go ahead and get your knife underneath the fat. Try not to cut into the meat too much. I'm going to start by just, putting a slit through here so I can work some of the fat off outside of it. Here we go. We're going to do some nice, easy cuts. And, for any of my master butchers out there or anybody else watching the video that are wondering why I'm, kind of going in so deep here, I actually do have 2 American Akita puppies that love red meat. So when I am going through this process, I usually try to hook them up a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get that piece off. another really important part of this is organization. So you want to keep your meat separated from your scraps, separated from the chain, which will end up getting cut off of the meat. And you know, organization is key, especially when you have a small workspace like this. But yeah, I mean, there's really no wrong way to do this, and every time you cut through one of these tenderloin, it's just really going to get better. I've done this several times, and to be honest, even I'm a little bit nervous here, just because I've not done it on video yet, but it's all good. All right, another nice little cut here. So I want to say the majority of everything that we're looking at is going to be edible. What you don't want is the silver skin, and we're going to start getting into that here in a minute. You'll see it. It's going to be underneath the fat. It literally has a silver tinge to it as well, so you can't miss it. The reason why you don't want to keep any silver skin on your meat is because it's really bitter. It doesn't taste good. It'll make even some of the best cooked meat taste terrible. So you definitely want to get rid of it. And as you can see here, this is really kind of what it looks like. So we're going to expose that first by cutting away this layer of fat. And here we go. Yeah, you see? Look at this. Look at that. We definitely got to get rid of that. But you know what? Like I said, you know, this might seem like it's a little bit more work, but honestly, it can be therapeutic. It can be therapeutic as well, just like anything you do in the kitchen. You know, take your time, have fun with it. Go ahead and get it nice and clean. Once you're all done, you'll be able to cook some amazing steaks. You'll end up with a lot more meat. And check this out. Look at what we've got now. I finished cleaning everything up. We're left with the main tenderloin. The thick section of meat in the middle is called the Chateaubriand. And then on either side, we have what's sometimes considered as the tenderloin tail. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the tail on both ends and then cut the middle of the meat into individual steaks, into the filet mignon that everybody knows and loves. So one of the other things that you'll notice as well while we're on the subject, when you're looking at different quality meat, is I find that there sometimes is less scrap, there's less cleaning to do on higher quality tenderloins. And you may find the same thing as well when you're going through it. But that doesn't mean you can't do a good job. You know, we can still do a good job with the choice meat and still have delicious steak for dinner. So, not an issue. Let's go ahead and cut the tails off. Now we're left with the piece of the meat that we're going to cut into our filet mignon. I'm going to start in the middle just to get us rolling, and wow, look at that. So what's going to happen now is once we go ahead and get this cut into individual steaks, we'll get everything parted out. I like to go ahead and season my meat. After I cut it individually, you know, what you'll find sometimes is, especially if you're looking on YouTube, is you'll find people don't cut this and then they'll wrap the whole thing up and throw it on the grill. I don't really like to do that. Again, because I use sous vide as my main method of cooking meat. I like my meat to come out perfect every time. For that reason, I'm definitely going to go ahead and cut individual steaks. Alright, first couple cuts for the Chateaubriand, we're going to make them nice and juicy here for the family. And as we work our way down to the tail, I'll start doing them a little bit thinner. And the way it works is, depending on what we are making for dinner or how many people I'm feeding, I'll take different packages of seasoned meat out of the freezer and, cook it. So we've got our premium option when we're ready for that much meat. And then if we're not necessarily using the steak as a garnish, but when we need just enough steak to complement a meal, we'll have package sizes ready for that too. So just a little tip. I mean, everybody, does things their own way. Everybody does things differently, but that's how we do it in my house. Another thing that we usually like to do as well is when we do cook filet or we do cook any steak, after it's done with the sous vide process and it's seared and it's nice and it's ready, we actually cut our meat into steak strips, and then that way people can take as little or as much as they want and not have to worry about over or under eating. So doing it that way means that our steak goes a long way as well. A little bit goes a long way. Two or three of these steaks can feed 5 people. So, and I'll do that in a separate video. I'll show you what I mean, because I know looking at this right now, it might be kind of hard to imagine 2 of these steaks feeding 5 people, but it's really not that big of a deal, especially once you're complementing it with other food. But we're gonna take these. That'll be a group. That'll be a group. That'll be a group. And look, there we go. There's 5 dinners, not even including the tail that we cut off. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna, chop this up, and then we're gonna use the tail for dinner tonight. We're gonna make steak tips out of this. All right, here we go. Let's do this. Let's get this, let's get this cleaned up a little bit more. No big deal. Knife down, slide it right through. Same process as earlier. Get your knife under the fat. Some people may say that leaving a little bit of fat on, it's not a big deal. Just the people in my house, some of my sons don't like the meat to be so chewy, and really what that is just the fat not cooking all the way down. So if you get rid of the fat on your filet, especially the thick stuff on the outside that we're working on, it'll make it a much more pleasurable experience for people to eat dinner. So all right, we're almost done. All right, now we can start cutting this into the strips that we need for dinner. And here's the cool thing too, guys. I mean, this didn't look like a whole lot of meat when we started, but wait till you see how much meat actually comes off of this once we're done slicing it up. I'll do like a B-roll shot or something after I'm done with this, just so you guys can see exactly how much meat we ended up with just from slicing up that tenderloin. I just can't say it enough. I really actually do enjoy doing this, especially, once the food turns out well. Just watching my family and friends enjoy the food that I make, it definitely it makes it worthwhile. Alright guys, so we're here. We made it. This is what it is. We've got our filet mignon over here in the middle. We've got our steak tips. We have various scraps. We've got a little bit of everything over here. But like I said, 30-35 minutes. The whole process is done. Nothing else to worry about. And it's easy. This is something that anybody can do, you guys. You don't have to be an expert. You don't need any sort of special certification, okay, in butchering meat. Really, you just got to rip off the Band-Aid and give it a shot. But from here, this meat will get seasoned. We'll go ahead and get it vacuum sealed, and it'll get ready for sous vide. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.